In 2005, Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple and Pixar, stood before the graduating class of Stanford University to deliver what would become one of the most powerful and enduring speeches in modern history. Captured and reshared countless times, especially through motivational platforms like Motivation Arc, this speech continues to inspire generations of dreamers, entrepreneurs, students, and creatives. More than just a recounting of his career, Jobs' speech is a raw, honest, and deeply personal meditation on life, failure, passion, and purpose. He shares 3 stories, simple yet profound, each packed with wisdom that urges us to trust in the unknown, follow our hearts, and make the most out of our time. Welcome to Luxo-Life, and today we will explore the major themes of his speech, reflects on their real-world impact, and celebrates the lasting legacy of his words in a tone that, like Jobs himself, is passionate, approachable, and deeply human, trusting in the unseen. Jobs begins his speech not with fanfare or ego, but with humility. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories. The first one is about connecting the dots. He talks about how he dropped out of Reed College after 6 months, but continued to audit classes that piqued his interests. One of those was a calligraphy course, seemingly random at the time. But we see its legacy 10 years later as that class shaped the beautiful typography at the first Macintosh computer, the message. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. This idea is quietly revolutionary. In a world obsessed with rigid planning and 5-year strategies, Jobs suggests something else: intuition, curiosity, and faith. Trusting that the choices we make, even if they seem insignificant or unclear now, will one day come together to create something meaningful. Many people struggle with uncertainty: students unsure of their path, creatives waiting for a breakthrough, entrepreneurs fearing failure. But Jobs' story reminds us that it is okay not to have all the answers right away. What matters is to keep exploring, to stay open, and to follow what excites us. Eventually, the dots will connect. The gift of failure, Jobs' second story, is arguably the most emotional, the story of how he was fired from Apple, the very company he built. At 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone. Imagine the humiliation, the heartbreak, the identity crisis. Yet he did not crumble. Instead, Jobs described it as a freeing experience. The heaviness of success was replaced with the lightness of being a beginner again, the chance to start over as a clean slate ready to be filled with new scenes and opportunities. It was during this phase of beginning again that he started Next in Pixar. He came back to Apple stronger than ever with more experiences and newly gained knowledge. And most importantly, he met his wife. This story is a masterclass in resilience. Failure, Jobs suggests, is not the opposite of success, it is a vital part of it. When we fall, we are given a rare opportunity to reassess, rebuild, and rediscover our passions. Jobs did not cling to his ego or wallow in bitterness. He went back to doing what he loved, and that made all the difference. This is the lesson we all need, especially in a culture that is terrified of failure. Whether it is a rejected application, a broken dream, or a failed business, the true test is how we bounce back. As Jobs shows, sometimes the most painful setbacks open the door to the most beautiful new beginnings. The ultimate change agent. Jobs' final story is the most philosophical, a reflection on death. He recalls a time when he was diagnosed with cancer and told he had only months to live. Though the diagnosis was later reversed, the experience gave him clarity. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. This part of the speech is not gloomy, it is liberating. Jobs challenges us to stop wasting time living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, a code of belief set by society or other people. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your inner voice. He reminds us that we all have limited time, and the only way to truly live is to follow our hearts. There is a stark, raw beauty in this message. Too often, we delay our dreams, waiting for the right time or for someone else's approval. But as Jobs makes clear, life is fragile and fleeting. Every day is a gift. Every moment is a chance to choose authenticity. Why this speech still resonates today. Almost 2 decades later, Jobs' words still ripple through classrooms, boardrooms, and bedrooms around the world. Why? Because the stories he told are not just about business or technology, they are about being human. They speak to universal truths that each of us, regardless of race, gender, religion, and status, experience throughout our life: fear, heartbreak, confrontation, and courage. The fear of not knowing where you are going, the heartbreak of losing something you have built, the confrontation with life and mortality, and the courage it takes to start again. His voice is not that of a corporate titan, but of a fellow traveler navigating the messy, mysterious, and magical journey of life. That is why people return to this speech again and again. It doesn't offer rigid rules, but a flexible mindset. It does not preach, it shares. It does not talk down to us, it reaches out. It is not only a message of inspiration and hope, but a clear indication that underneath everything we have achieved, everything we own, we are all human, experiencing the exact same certainties that make us human. Storytelling as a tool for impact. One of the reasons Jobs' speech is so powerful is the way he uses storytelling. Instead of a list of achievements or a preachy monologue, he offers 3 personal narratives, each grounded in vulnerability and real emotion. This format works because stories stick. They allow listeners to connect emotionally, to see themselves in someone else's experience, and to relate and learn from others' adventures. Jobs does not just tell us what to do, he shows us how he learned. The simplicity of just 3 stories makes the message accessible and relatable. He doesn't talk about market shares or IPOs, he talks about calligraphy, heartbreak, and staring death in the face. In doing so, Jobs gives us a model for how to communicate with impact. Be honest, be real, tell stories, applying Jobs' lessons to our own lives. So what do we do with all this inspiration? We start where we are. Perhaps you are a student unsure of what path to take. Perhaps you have faced rejection and feel stuck. Perhaps you are yearning for more meaning in your work or life. Whatever the case, Steve Jobs reminds us of 3 vital things. 1, trust your journey. Even if it does not make sense right now, keep going. Follow your curiosity. It's okay not to have it all figured out. That is what a journey is. It focuses on the adventure, the travel, and not the destination. 2, love what you do. Find what lights you up and do not be afraid to start over if needed. Passion is not just a nice to have, it is fuel. It is the spark that you feel that urges you to always do more. 3, live with urgency. Do not wait. Do not hold back. If today were your last day, would you be proud of how you lived it? These are not just feel-good quotes, they are guiding principles for a meaningful life. The legacy of stay hungry, stay foolish. Jobs closed his speech with a quote he found on the back of the Whole Earth catalog, a kind of pre-internet guide for curious minds. It said, "Stay hungry. Stay foolish. To be hungry is to stay curious, never complacent, and always striving. To be foolish is to take risks, ask questions, and dare to look beyond what is expected." These 4 words, simple yet profound, capture the essence of Jobs' message and the heart of innovation, growth, and human spirit. It is a call to live boldly, to embrace the unknown, and never to settle. Conclusion. Steve Jobs' 2005 Stanford speech is not just one of the greatest speeches ever. It is a heartfelt invitation to live fully and authentically. It reminds us that even the most successful people have moments of doubt, failure, and fear. What sets them apart is their ability to learn, grow, and decision to keep going. In the end, this speech is not about Steve Jobs. It is about us. our dreams, our struggles, our choices. So as we close the video, step away from the screen, and return to our lives, may we carry his message with us. Trust the dots. Love what you do. Don't waste your time. And above all, stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you for sticking till the end. And like always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more educational and inspirational content.